Hello, my name is Judy Carresco and I'm a video producer at M&R Companies. I'd like to spend a few minutes today talking about better video conferencing. Like many of you these days, I have video conferencing in my daily work activities so I can talk to my coworkers, and we use GoToMeetings, but there are several. There's Zoom, there's Skype, there's Facebook Live, Instagram Live. We're using all sorts of social media in order to connect and to be able to do work from home. I've put together a few tips to consider for a better experience using these video conferencing tools that you can start using today. Find your light. Think of natural light, like a window. Think of a place in your house where you can set up your desk or your workspace, and you can have light on the side of you or in front of you or both. This is ideal because the window gives a really soft shadow to your face and you get really good quality video because it's like this really big soft light hitting you. Whereas if your office is in the basement, you're relying solely on ceiling lights that give a really harsh light to your face and gives you really unflattering shadows. If this is the only case that you have, you might want to consider looking for a table lamp that will give you light at eye level and help really compete with the ceiling lights that you have in the basement. If you have an office where the main window is behind you, you might want to consider rearranging your room, sitting on the opposite side of the table, because your camera from your computer will want to adjust to the excess amount of light coming in from behind you, rendering your face completely dark because you have no light hitting you directly. The next tip is to look at your surroundings. Now that you've picked a spot by the window and you can see yourself on camera, what can everyone else see on your camera as well? What does your background look like? Is it organized? Is it cluttered? Is it simple? Sometimes having a blank wall would probably be more beneficial and less distracting for everyone else than if you were trying to set up something organized. Tip number 3 is rule of thirds. Think about where your camera is positioned and how you see yourself. When you have a conversation with someone in real life, you're sitting down, you're looking at each other at eye level, and your eye view is horizontal or almost. You want to try to mimic that with your camera as well. Now, most of us have cameras that are built into the monitors that are on our desktop, and they're really high. Consider trying to raise your chair to meet that, or find if you can use a laptop, you can put some books under it if it's too low. No one wants to see up your nose or just your forehead and a lot of background space, especially if there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. The next tip is pay attention, stay focused. It's really easy to get distracted with emails and checking Facebook when you know that no one else can see your screen. But when your eyes are not in the meeting, people can tell, and that's really distracting. Being distracted by other things on your computer will also deter from the meeting going smoothly. If someone asks you a question or they ask you to review information, you're going to start scrambling, and it's just not very professional. The following tip I have is hear my words. Most people can forgive bad video if they can still hear you, but when they can't hear you, it just renders the meeting useless. It's frustrating, and it can even cause a lot of fatigue when you're trying to constantly listen in on someone who's cutting in and out. Try to see what all your audio options are. Is your office in a really quiet space? Well, maybe the speaker on your computer is good enough. But if you're near a window and it's a noisy street outside, try exploring all the different headsets that you have at home. Does your Apple AirPods work, or will a connected headset work that has a microphone that's close to your mouth so that they can only hear you and there's some noise canceling so that they don't hear the pickup truck that's going down the street with a bad muffler, or recycling coming to pick up in the alley, or a dog barking in the next room. I am now using my Bose Quiet Comfort 35 wireless headphones. This is what it sounds like to use my MacBook Pro internal microphone. My next tip might sound a little contradicting, but it's mute yourself. Now that you have great quality audio when you're speaking, when you're not speaking, you want to mute it yourself so that the person who is talking can have the opportunity to have the floor without 5 other people's background noises on at the same time. My final point is regarding technical performance. You don't want to be distracted by any sounds or emails or notifications coming in from any of your tools, but also when you're sharing your screen, you don't want that sensitive email popping up so that everyone can see things that they're not supposed to. But also, you want to close down your browser tabs and things like that so that your internet and your CPU can process the best that it can so that you can have a really smooth meeting or recording if you're doing interviews. Hopefully you have a few new tricks under your belt to have a better video conferencing experience soon. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comments below. Thank you.